Welcome to a special edition of the Referrals podcast. Introducing our new Daily Dose. We've assembled the ultimate crisis response team for your business. Generous leaders from around the globe teaming up to teach, guide, and lead you through this time of isolation and quarantine. Now let's meet your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey everybody, it is Michael J. Maher with another episode of The Daily Dose. The Daily Dose of positivity and productivity. I will tell you, I hear the siren, people. I hear the all clear siren. Will we have a relapse? Maybe, probably, but I will tell you, I am so excited about the future. I'm so excited about what we have accomplished with the Daily Dose. Part of me is sad that we are ending this tomorrow, but part of me is glad that we are ending this tomorrow, if you know what I'm saying right there. Here's the thing. What if you were a master implementer? What if you literally, as soon as you got something that crosses your plate or you learned, you immediately did it? Would your life be better? Would your business be better? Would your marriage be better? Would your relationship with your kids be better? The answer is probably so. Here's the thing. How many times, is there a book that you've ever read more than once? So many people are into new. They just come, it's like, what's the new book? What's the latest book? What's the new book? What's the latest book? And they just move from book to book, reading, feeling like they've accomplished. And you know what? Reading is not winning. I'm here. Reading is not the key. The key is implementation. It's implementing what you read. And maybe it's time for you to read the same book again and again. Maybe it's time for you to do something over and over again. Maybe it's time for you to take what a coach or trainer says and immediately do it. Just do it. No questions asked, no thought about it, no questions of avoidance, like asking questions to the part where you just don't do it. No, how about we just do it and see what happens? What would happen with all that trust? Well, amazing things happen, and you're going to find out about that today from our guest, Jana Caudill. But I have some announcements first. First of all, Sweet Dreams starts June 14th. We are almost full. You got to realize, with 30 evenings, we had two classes. We had an East Coast class. We had a West Coast class. They sold out very quickly for both sessions. Now, with Sweet Dreams, it's one class. It'll be 7 o'clock Eastern on Sundays. It'll be 8 o'clock Eastern on Monday through Thursday. You're off on Friday and Saturday. You can sleep or go to bed anytime you want. You can stay up as late as you want. I'm not your dad. Jana's not your mom. Polly's not your dad. Tara's not your mom. You can stay up as late as you want on Friday and Saturday night. And then Sunday, meet again at 7 to go through the Sunday night ritual. Do a weekly preview. Make sure you're all set up for the week. You'll do a brief nightly ritual on Sunday, and then you'll do a nightly ritual with the team Monday through Thursday nights. I will tell you what, it would not surprise me to see June and July be your most productive months ever, because you're going to be in this structured set of two of the most powerful rituals that I know. You can get in right now at 30evenings.com. 30 evenings, EVENINGS.com. Looking ahead, tomorrow, I'm going to wrap up the Daily Dose with a few nice surprises, a few things that you have never seen before, even if you have been to our Referral Mastery Summit and seen me speak many times. Now, here's the other thing. We have an amazing pin giveaway that is going on right now. This is a $200 plus pin from Backyard Barnworks, which is a gifting company. It's exclusive, like CEO level type of gifts, very nice gifts. And this pin has diamond encrusted. It's got little shavings of diamonds in it. It is like the most glorious pin ever. For the person who invites the 5,000th member, we're at 4,900 almost. So we're almost there. If you're the one who it says was invited by, and it's your name, you get this pin shipped directly to your door. And I'm telling you something about this pin. Sure, you'll write your power notes with it, but so will your kids. And you know what? So will your kids' kids. This is an heirloom pen that will stay in the family for years upon years. Thank you to Backyard Barnworks for providing that wonderful giveaway. Listen, we're almost to 5,000. Make it happen. Now, without further ado, I want you to know that it is time to start your watch party. One of the things that we encouraged all of you to do was to create and lead a Facebook group. Some of you are leading multiple Facebook groups, but it is now time to start your watch party. For those of you that are new, welcome to the Generosity, welcome to the Daily Dose. Go down and hit the share button right below here. You're going to click on share. One of the options is start watch party. Go and click on the start watch party. You can take your notes in the comment section. You can find out who else is listening. Like right now, we have Keith Grogan on. We have Bonnie Molinex, Star Power Star is on. Janet Parsons, another Star Power Star is on. Toral Chauffeur White, another Star Power Star is on. The stars have aligned for Jana Caudill today. I can't wait for this. So here's the deal. Jana is the broker and owner of the Jana Caudill team in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland, as well as the broker, associate, and owner of the Jana Caudill team serving the Naples and Southwest Florida areas. Her team consistently sells 150 to 400 homes a year, making her the #1 agent in her area in closed and sold units every year. She has been named among the top 300 mega performers in the nation, featured in numerous training videos, and recognized as a leader in her field by Lore magazine, which is Legends of Real Estate magazine, the Wall Street Journal, Real Trends, and various real estate publications. Jana earned her Bachelor of Science degree with honors from Purdue University in organizational leadership and supervision. Among her greatest of titles, Jana is a wife, not Janice, Jana is a wife and mother to four boys. Here's the other thing. I taught with Jana many years ago as part of a Star Power Star cadre, and I will tell you, she was a star among stars and one of my favorite people to teach with, because when she taught, I didn't have to teach. I loved it because I would just let her go and she would talk and people would be enthralled. And then at the end, I would come on and go, "How was that, everybody?" And they'd go, "That was awesome." And we would dismiss. And it was the best thing ever for me. So after she joined the Generosity Generation recently, that's what I love about her story. And she jumped right in with the March Madness Challenge. We did a 30-day challenge. Literally every day you had to do something. And she did, get this, 30 out of 30 of the March Madness Challenge. And she won the March Madness Challenge, which meant she won the Catalyst membership. She won a 30 Mornings membership. She kicked butt. Now, here's the thing. As soon as we started with the quarantine, we were literally one of the first ones out of the gate. It's like, all right, what do they really need to do? And I was like, man, social media is going to blow up. We're going to do create and lead a Facebook group. And then we need to communicate more. So we need to contact Zoom, calls, so on and so forth. And we need to use the 5-star strategy to attract referrals and build relationships. Well, Jana implemented the ideas and has grown a Facebook community of over 4,500 people since March 27th and is receiving more referrals than ever before. Let's welcome a master implementer, a phenomenal person, and honestly, one of the top agents in the world, Jana Caudill. Welcome to the Daily Dose.
Thank you.
You made it.
I made it.
You made it. So thank you so much for being here. It's so amazing. And, you know, it's one of those where it's kind of like, I like Bonnie's story too. It's one of those where, like, Bonnie was a star the same year I was, and you and I got the chance to share, you know, I guess the stage or at the very least the classroom with the cadre. What are your fondest memories of teaching for Star Power? Like, Howard Brenton's one of my three mentors, and I speak about him all the time, you know, and he brought us together. Like, you know, thank you, Howard. He connected you and me So what are some of your fondest memories of Howard and the Star Power group?
Well, definitely the relationships. And I mean, some of my very best friends are from that group. Kathy Russell, she's the one, she was a Star Power star. She's like a lake house neighbor with me. I've been, in fact, we're celebrating 20 years of living beside each other at our lake houses. And just, watching her family grow up, my kids grow up. I mean, it's like, so all the deep, deep friendships and, the learning, obviously, we all became like, we were all baby agents there, right? And so I listened to Star Power tapes back then. And so I was in awe of everyone, and then, became a star, and then started, but just the relationships. I mean, everything we learned, wealth building, how to do it right, how to not do it, I mean, shortening the learning curve. But the biggest thing was probably the relationships. And now 24 years later, there's like, look at us, you know what I mean? And I'm going to share something about you.
Wait, what? No, that was not part of, let's stick with the
plan. All right.
All right. No, go ahead. All right.
The learning, learning how to just do things really well, and getting to it. And then the teaching, that was a blessing, because I was asked to do the Bayer University. So that taught me how to be a better, I mean, when you teach something, you learn how to do it better. So I started with Bayer University, and in fact, that's how I met you. You were with your team in the class as a student. And then I went on to do the team training some, and then definitely the Leadership University. I helped design that. Like, it was kind of my idea that I felt I saw a need, and I said to Howard and Melissa, like, we need to do this. And so several of us helped write the course. And honestly, it was because I wanted to be a better leader. I had a team. I wanted to have a better team, but also be a better leader to a team, because I saw that so many of us knew how to list and sell houses, but we didn't know how to lead or manage or, grow teams and be better business people. So, so it was just all of that. And it still is going on. Like, we don't have Star Power anymore, but we all obviously have our relationships and our continued learning from one another.
100%. And so Sherry and a few others are waving and saying, all right, what did Jana want to say about Michael? So this does make me slightly nervous. I just want you to know that I was younger, more adventurous, and more risk-taking then than I was now. So
I do have my naughty Christmas cup. I'm
nice.
No, and I don't know why I grabbed that, but okay, so this is all good. That day, back in whenever in Indianapolis, Indiana, we were teaching Star Power, and I must have talked about how I love my birthday, and I love celebrating my birthday, and how it's important that it's a special day for people. And so you came up to me as a student and you asked me what day my birthday was. And I told you February 1st, and you remembered every year for the past 20 years. And you call me on my birthday, you sing to me on my birthday. If you can't make it like in person, you leave a voicemail, or yes, last time you called me the day before because you were going to be traveling, but you always remembered. And I was just like so touched by that. And it doesn't surprise me that you've gone on to do what you've done, and because you truly got it way back then, how to make a person feel special. And so I just wanted to share that with you. So Michael has remembered my birthday for 20 years.
Yes. Now all of those people that are watching who are not getting birthday calls are now going to be texting me and emailing me and saying, I haven't got a call for 20 years. Well, that's because I probably don't know your birthday. It's all good. So I will tell you, I want to kind of fast forward is one of the biggest challenges in like learning a lot of times is learning from a peer. A lot of times we can learn from this perceived castle or this perceived tower, and we kind of learn to go up and that kind of thing. But we've always been contemporaries. We've always been peers. And it's kind of like Bonnie Mullenix. It's just kind of like, in the last couple of years, she just said, all right, I'm just going to see what I can do with this. And she had a couple of events. She got a lot of referrals. She did phenomenal for her pet day. She got literally loads upon loads of pet food and all these things. And it's worked out really well for her because she's already a very loving, generous, and appreciative person. And so are you. You're a loving, generous, and appreciative person. I have to say, what made you decide to jump all in when it came to the March Madness? I'm curious about that,
Well, I think with any of us, we've always been learning based, all of us. However, I think we have the ebb and flows of our business and where we're at with our personal lives and whatnot. And I definitely, I'll admit, I went through, I call it the land between, or a sabbatical, or whatever you want to call it, where I definitely checked out. Like I just didn't, it's not that I didn't care, but I just was burnt out, tired of that hamster wheel, just needed a break. Not to mention, I'm getting older. I'm 55. I probably around my 50s was like, I'm not really sure. I thought about retiring, honestly, but, I have way more to do than that. So, but I think I just decided I needed a little shot in the arm. I did it about 3 years ago too. One of my sons invited me to a conference and I just went with them just to go, and it gave me that B12 shot that I needed.
Yeah.
Woke me back up. And same way with you. Like, I think I reached out to you in February, and I honestly I wanted to do an event with you, but then I was like, I really need to just plug back in again and just get some, get my passion going again. And so that's how it started. You told me about the March Madness Challenge. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I need to form a habit again, right? We all know it takes 21 days to form a habit, but I saw the 30 days and I thought this only makes sense for me to do something every single day. I knew whatever you were doing. I didn't even know what you were doing, but I knew that it would be good. I've always watched you, and I listened to you at a conference recently, at our Rev conference, and I took notes like crazy in that 30-minute segment. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. And that was before COVID, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I dove into that in February. I got it day one, I did it. And then all of a sudden come March 17th, when everything shut down, I was already in that go to town mindset, focus, let's do this, let's rock and roll. We're not stopping. And every day, sometimes it was 5 minutes before midnight, I submitted my to-do thing. But it wasn't about winning the contest. It was just.
Oh, whatever, Jana. Whatever.
I still haven't. But anyway, it was just about doing it and doing it right. Mm-hmm. And that's just who I am. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it well and not half-assed, as my dad always used to say. But so I did that, and then within it, I saw my life changing. Mm. I saw me as a person becoming kinder. I saw that, I feel like I've always been humble, pretty much, but I felt that I was very grateful. I was coming from a place of appreciation and gratitude. And I saw that I was just like, doors were opening for me. I wasn't trying to make the doors open. I just was giving and doing and being and just thinking differently. And next thing I know, like, it really, honestly, when it was time to like hunker down and be the true leader that we all say we are, I was ready. I was focused. I was mentally there. I was intentional. Nothing was going to throw me off. It was probably my ultimate leadership moment out of 24 years of doing this. Wow.
And you are a great leader. And that's part of your superpowers are implementation. You did it every day. 11:55 p.m., a couple of submissions happened very late. But the thing is you did it. So many people would, they do 10 and then they drop off, or they do 15, or if they miss one, they're done. They're just like, and just so you know, I've got to give other people props for March Madness is, we had people doing 25, 26, 27, 28 days. out of the 30. So the nice thing is we make the 30-day challenge a competition. And then what happens is the wheat separates from the chaff, and you get the top people, and all of a sudden they're competing with each other. It's like, dang, I better get this done. Dang, I better get this done. And that's the joy of it. The other part that I love that you're speaking to, Jana, is you have always been kind. You've always been a giver, and you've always been grateful. But sometimes we kind of lose how to message that, how to communicate that, how to implement that. How do we show the world that we're a giver? We can't go around going, hey, I'm a giver. That just doesn't land. But sometimes we just need these little things to do that help others. And at first you're kind of doing it to maybe win a contest or do the challenge. And then all of a sudden you notice that, I'm doing these because this is how I am. I'm loving, I'm generous, I'm appreciative. I really am this way. And it feels good to be in this element, be in this place. What was kind of your biggest aha from doing the March Madness? Like what were a couple of things that really woke up in you, or really you kind of noticed during that March Madness challenge?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to your bingo sheet, and I'm going to actually remember what I did for those 30 days. Because to be honest with you, that seems like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like, it's so crazy how so much has happened since March 1st, right?
Yeah.
And I have worked harder and smarter and gotten more done since March 1st to whatever day it is, May 28th.
Yeah, it's April 96th, right? I mean, it's like that's how March, April, and May feels like one big giant month.
So much productivity, so much, like almost been more than a year sometimes. And so I almost feel like, wow, I was a total slacker before, because now I'm like really intentional. But I'm trying to think what some of the things that we even did. Obviously the Facebook group was the biggie, right? That was the most accomplished and most good, but it was probably reconnecting with people that I hadn't talked to in a really long time. Mm-hmm. One of them was it was about giving gratitude to someone that did something for you. And I actually called someone that I worked with when I was, say, 25 years old, so 30 some years ago. And I thanked them for giving me my first book, which was See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar.
Oh, yeah.
I was never a reader, and I worked for State Farm Insurance at the time. He was one of our executives. I was going through a divorce at 25 years old, and he must have saw something in me, and he knew I was down probably, and he handed me that book. And he said, just read this. And that totally like woke me up to, obviously we all know what Zig Ziglar. So that book changed my life. And so I hunted him down on Facebook, found somebody who knew him. It took a while. And I made a phone call to him, and I thanked him for changing my trajectory in life. Wow. And he said to me, oh my gosh, he goes, this is probably the nicest phone call I've ever received in my life.
Wow. That's, that made it worth it.
I have chills. He truly, and I've always thought about calling him, but I never did. And I never thanked him, and I never told him how he really just changed my thinking and my world. And he saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And so that was cool. But I would say just reconnecting with a lot of old friends or agents, regardless of the company they're with, and just reaching out to them and thanking them or talking to them. Just, I would say having a stronger relationship. I have a ton of acquaintances. We all do. Mm-hmm. We all have 5,000 Facebook friends, etc. But are we really close to that many? Do we really know when their birthday is? Do we really know, who they are? And so that's what I saw, was that I have a lot of close friends, but I have way too many shallow relationships. I needed to deepen some relationships. And that brought, it just fulfilled my heart, honestly. And, I'm happy. This is the happiest I've been in a very long time.
Wow. And There you have it, folks. That's the show. I mean, what else is there? I mean, that's and I would say that is a great action item, Jana, for everybody watching and listening today is, who is someone from your past who made a big difference, a coach, a teacher, a manager, a leader, maybe it's just a friend at the time, someone who made a huge impact. And if you think hard enough, you're probably going to come up with 5, 10, maybe even 20 of those. And you know what? Locate them. It's easier to locate people than ever before because of Facebook, because of Google, because of LinkedIn, whatever it may be. So my encouragement to you today is to just make that call. You're not looking for business. This is just the appreciation call. You're just calling for appreciation. And you can follow the RAH structure, which is R is for reason, the reason for my call. And in this case, the A is really easy because the A is for appreciation. So the reason for my call is to express my appreciation. It's a really good intro. And then the H is help. Is there a way that you can help them? Or is there a way they can help you? Have a conversation around the word help. How's everything going? Are you healthy? Your family healthy? You guys safe? Everything good? Is there anything I can do to help to repay you for this thing that you did 20 years ago? 99% of the time, they're going to say, no. I mean, this call is the best thing that I've had in 20 years, but just putting it out there that you are there to help, it is amazing what residue that will do. You never know. 2 months later, they're like, you know what? You did say that you're in real estate, right? It's like, yeah. And it's like, yeah, well, you know what? I actually did have some questions about real estate. And then who knows what happens. But that is the appreciation call, which is RAH. The reason for my call, express your appreciation. Sometimes the reason for your call is to invite them to an event or invite them to join your group or whatever it may be. And then the A is appreciation. One thing I really appreciate, the beauty of the A is you have to think before you call about what you appreciate about them. And when you are calling in the spirit of appreciation, you're calling with a better energy. I don't want to go into all that right now, but better energy calls, it's not about having conversations. It's about having positive, energetic conversations that lead to more success. So I love that. I love that you brought that up, Jana. And I'm guessing a lot of the people who are listening and watching right now are appreciative of that structure. So then
I'm going to implement doing that once a week now and just making it like, it doesn't take that long. And we all know of people that we should be calling and thanking and just coming from appreciation with no strings attached.
That's right.
Reason, just besides thanking them. So I'm going to, kind of do that one time a week now.
I love it. I love it. And here's what I know about you. You're like, I'm going to do it one time a week. That's going to turn into one time a day. And that's going to turn into, 5 times a day. I just know how you work, right? You're an implementer.
Are you enjoying the Daily Dose? Want to connect with thousands of other business owners that are winning the referral game while working from home right now? Head over to the Generosity Generation Facebook group. Connect with leaders, visionaries, and business owners from all over the world. Go to www.joingengen.com. That's www.joingengen.com.
So, all right, then quarantine hit. We had stay-at-home orders. March 17th, we all heard that, listen, we're going to have to stay home. We're going to do some things. I had a call to action that was big time. It's like create and lead a Facebook group. Many took us up on that, but I'm not sure if anybody took us up on it as powerfully and quickly as you did. You started a group like March 27th, and you now have over 4,500 members. How did you do that?
Well, you told me to start a Facebook group, so I did. And I just, how did I get 4,500 members, or why did I start it? I think more, how did you grow it? Where did the people come from? What did you name it? Why do you think it grew so big, so fast? Okay, so I I don't know if you can see this, but I'll just point it
We
up.
can see it. Yep, we can see you.
So this is, I decided to do it for the hometown where I sell in, right? That I've had my, not in Naples. I was actually in Naples when I started this, but I zeroed in on what would be the most impactful. I had a moving truck in Crown Point. I sold real estate, or I'm selling real estate in Crown Point, Indiana, in Northwest Indiana for 24 years. So that just made the most sense to me. So I decided to call it Crown Point Neighbors Helping Neighbors.
Love it.
I did not want my real estate attached to it. I wanted to just come from a place of contribution and help, and I didn't want it to be all about real estate. So I strategically named it what I did. And I decided, instead of, we sell in 19 towns, and instead of saying, Northwest Indiana, I decided to go hyper focused and hyper local and just do Crown Point. So because obviously, I love to serve them all, but I felt that was important. So we named it what we did because of that. And then Crown Point Strong was our hashtag. And honestly, for Instagram. But the main reason I picked that was because Crown Point Neighbors Helping Neighbors was too long for Instagram. And so,
love it.
So I just said, okay, Crown Point, it had to be spelled out, obviously. And then I felt like, well, what do we all need right now? We need to be strong. We need to be resilient. We need to get through this. And so I just did hashtag Crown Point Strong. So I set them both up on the exact same day. I figured I needed to have some cool graphics and, where it looks legitimate. And so I quickly just got my marketing team just like, hey, I need a few things here. We uploaded a few things before we launched it at 5 p.m. on a Friday night. I invited like 2 or 3 people to be an admin with me on my team, and they were all just marketing people that work with me, and then a couple of my team members. And then I said, just everybody start inviting your Facebook friends. So I started with some. My son Creighton, he actually invited a ton of people, and then a couple team members. And next thing I know, we were up to 300 and some people. Like day one, it was well over 150 some people, and then I guess the right people got invited because one of the very first people that accepted my son's invitation was a longtime Crown Point person. She's lived in Crown Point her entire life, 60 years. And she was like, I'll help. What do you need help? And just everyone came out of the woodwork and just said they would help. And next thing I know, it grew to 300, 500. Like every night I would take a picture of how fast it would grow. And it actually happened and so it morphed into just something bigger. And it wasn't just me. It was, yes, I was the one feeding content and ideas, but it was really the group of people that got all behind this because it was giving them hope and inspiration, and it was an outlet, and they were all at home, right? And they had nothing else to do. So they found that it was helpful. And then they started seeing all the good things we were doing, and just kind of like everybody bought into it. So people attract people, right? Like I attracted some, and then those people attracted some, and it just kept snowballing. We did have a contest the very first day. And if you scroll down, if you join our group, which I would encourage you to do, and you're welcome to copy anything and everything, just, change it up. In fact, I put a challenge out there. Take your town and go start your town Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and then go get your town strong hashtag, and just do it. So we put a contest out there, and we figured local businesses needed help, and we restaurants. So we said, for the person who invites the most, not invite, like invites and joins, whoever has the most joining, we were giving away 10 $100 gift cards to local restaurants. And so we were feeding those local businesses that were shut down, totally shut down. And so that was probably motivating for people, right? But it was kind of like my contest with you. That wasn't the only reason they were doing it. but that probably helped. But you'll see the graphic we did for that, and it was we need your. I think it was like we need your help, or we have a fun little contest. And the very first prize was a $250 prize, and then we were going to give 100 $100 gift cards to local restaurants. So what happened was, and we gave them a timeline, 2 weeks, I think it was. We went back through, and you could easily monitor who had the most.
Right.
And we told them, hey, here's our winners. And more than half of them donated their card back to give to somebody in need. Huh. And the number one winner, the $250 winner, is basically my executive director. She is my number one helper. And she's been on the ground every day, helping, volunteering. She's the one that's lived in Crown Point for 60 years. She actually won the most, and she donated it back too. And so everybody just came from a place of generosity and love and giving and helping.
That's it. And it's leadership. If we had to boil it down, why did we end up with, 4,500 members in a short period of time? It was leadership. What is leadership? Leadership is not about the leader. Leadership is about finding a need and rallying people around a common cause. That's all it is. So it's like you had a common cause, which is, neighbors helping neighbors. Very attractive. The word together, very, such and such, stronger together, whatever it may be. Let's say it's Marietta, Georgia, stronger together. And then the hashtag would be Marietta Strong. Love that. You had some sense around the social media that also made it more attractive. You've got the logo done. I love the heart with the family in the corner. I love that look. And then you did the giveaways. Yeah, 10 $100 giveaways. And what happens when you have a community based with a value of generosity is you get wonderful things like them re-gifting and re-giving the element. And then I love that you were helping local restaurants with the gift certificates, because the thing is if they won, it doesn't mean they have to use their gift certificate right now. They could use it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but you actually got the restaurant the money now, so that, when they need it the most, they had it. I love the contest. I love what you did around the having fun with it. I love the restaurant usage, the gift certificate usage. I love the admins. You got in moderators who were passionate about it and who were inviting people. This is not about real estate, but you know what? It is about real estate. You know who owns real estate in Crown Point, Indiana on Facebook? You own some real estate on Facebook for Crown Point, Indiana, right? And that is this Neighbors Helping Neighbors group. So it is a community. It's a neighborhood. You've got 4,500 people living in your neighborhood, and what better way to found it than on love, generosity, and appreciation. So I love that.
Well, and honestly, day one, we decided this was going to be our charitable arm of our real estate company. And if you go on our team site, you'll see it as part of our charitable arm. And so of course on our real estate marketing, we definitely tell everybody about it, right? But on this arm, we don't say, hey, we're realtors. The only thing that had real estate anywhere on it was obviously our moving truck, because that has everything plastered all over it. Right. But it wasn't because of that. It's just because we put the truck to use. Mm-hmm. And that was our first initial, when they were putting, it was an honor system, and we filled it up with food, and it was almost like take what you want, but then the people started donating and dropping it off in the truck. So really the truck was just used because it was the best thing to use.
Yeah, it was like a fill a truck event, right? We used to do the whole fill a truck, let's fill a truck with canned goods. Let's fill the truck with pet food. Let's fill the truck with whatever it may be. So we've got IT coming in here.
She's going to try. I'm going to keep talking, but she's okay. Trying to get this off so I can actually see you. It's bugging me.
So here is the one thing about the group is has it turned into any real estate conversations?
It actually has. It actually has. Thank you, Melissa. And I want you to meet Melissa because come here, Melissa. Melissa is on my real estate team, but
Hi, Melissa.
is on the video. She's the one that did all the selling of the signs when it was all behind closed doors. She also launched our e-learning platform within the group.
Nice.
She came from a teacher background, so she knew all the teachers in town. And she said, hey, they need some help. These teachers need help. What are we going to do? So we started an e-learning platform. I assigned her to that. She went and got 3 gurus, and they did that on their own. I had nothing to do with it. I just said, you're good at this. How about you do this? And she said yes, and she ran with it.
I love it. She's the perfect person for the job. The teacher helping teachers, like a neighbor helping neighbors. It fits perfectly.
Yep.
So what's next? What are you gonna do next? Let's say the all clear happens in 30 days or whatever it may be, and what's your vision?
Well, so we're definitely continuing this on. We're applying for to become a 501c3. We have our own checking account, tax ID number, everything. We actually have an attorney in the group that's pro bono knowing everything. So she stepped up and even offered to do free wills for people and all that, coming from a place of generosity. And then obviously she watched our group grow, and then she said, hey, I'm a pro bono attorney. So in the meantime, it takes about 3 to 4 months to even get a 501c3.
Right.
So we have hooked up with Legacy Foundation, who is a huge foundation in our area. They're going to be our fiscal agent, and we're signing all the documents so that we're partnering with them so that we are truly legit. And so we're pretty excited about that. They do grants. They help. They're a phenomenal organization. So we have a virtual auction coming up next week. And we are the fundraiser replacement for 7 different large organizations that are charitable 501c3s. And so we, if you notice on our group, we asked the group, hey, who do you want to help, right? We didn't want to pick them ourselves. We kind of knew some of the favorites, but we asked the group, our tribe, so to speak, and said, hey, who do you guys want to help? And they all nominated. And so we had the top nominations. We were going to do about 5, to be honest with you, but there were 2 of them that only wanted $1,000, and we weren't going to tell them no.
Yeah.
And, so we have 7 different organizations plus us that this auction is going to, we're shooting for $300,000.
Wow.
And they've all given us their budget. What did they lose right in the month of March? And most of them lost their number 1 fundraiser. Wow. So we decided to be their fundraiser replacement, be the hub of it. And I hooked up with a charity auctioneer. She does benefit auctions. And actually it is Kathy Russell's daughter, Kelly.
Yeah.
And Kelly runs a charitable auctioneer, and she's fabulous. And so I called Kelly and I said, what are you doing? She had already shape-shifted her business into virtual.
Right.
Because she would always have events, right? And so she quickly had jumped on that train. And I said, I want to be one of your first ones to do this. Put me on your books. And so right now, that's what we're gearing up. So why I look the way I do and I've been so crazy is because we are out getting all of our donors and sponsors and gifts, and we have to give it to, it's a greater giving platform that we're utilizing. And then we're uploading all the descriptions. Greater Giving is doing it, but we have a full-blown team doing that right now. And then it's a 3-day auction. It's silent for 2 days.
Yeah.
It goes live for an hour, and then it closes out on Monday the 8th. And so we're really excited about it.
That's going to be awesome. Kudos to Kelly for zigging when the world is zagging and making it happen. I love that. And by the way, we have a few other people to welcome to the show. We've got Chip Collins, and we've got Glenda Williamson. We've got Orly Steinberg, onlyorly.com. And we've got Steve Westmark, who have all joined us, and they were a part of our Star Power, still are a part of our Star Power family. And welcome to the show, guys and gals. And so I think that the big thing here that I just love is that it all came from the spirit of generosity, the spirit of appreciation, and the spirit of love when you really come down to it. And, what we do is that, like, I don't know if it happens at 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever it may be, but the really successful will go through this transformation of going from success to significance. And it's one of those where I encourage everybody who's watching this to not have to go from success to significance. I think from the very beginning, wrap your mind and your heart around success and significance at the same time. You can have success and significance. Too often, I think that what I've seen, and I don't think this is the case with Jana, but I've seen it, where it's really the chase of the almighty dollar and to be number one in your area or whatever it may be. It dominates the thought, and everything we're doing is to do more transactions. And that's great. We do more transactions because we help more people. And that's the truth. We can help people by doing transactions. But I think that one of the things that we could really do that would actually allow us to help more people, not only in our business, but in our community, is having this arm of significance, this arm of charitable giving, this arm of, greater giving. I love the title of the virtual auction. And Jana is a leader in this. She is kicking butt with this, and she is leading with this Facebook group. And having the Facebook group as your centerpiece is an amazing thing. And we also need to welcome Linda Hall to the show. And she is also one of those who exhibits success and significance in her business. So, Jana, final words of wisdom or words of advice for the listeners of the Daily Dose. What we really wanted to do on this show, on this date, was we wanted to take someone who took what we suggested in the beginning of the Daily Dose and ran with it. And I have to tell you that if I thought that it would be this great, I think I might have been more forceful in the beginning at like what people need to do. I love what you've done because it's you, and you're helping so many more people, and it's so needed. Crown Point needed. Crown Point neighbors helping neighbors. And you have made Crown Point a better place to live because of what you did. People are like, there's a lot of complaints when it comes to these towns. It's like this, the leadership, the growth, people have growing pains. And yet on the flip side, it's still a great place to live, great place to raise your kids, great place to, exist.
So we have a great mayor in our town. He's been, 8 years, and he's, going to get reelected. But what I found was he still needs strong leaders to help him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't set out to be a strong leader for him. I just set out to do one simple little idea. And so I guess a couple things with that is we all come up with these grandiose ideas, right? We're clever, we're creative, but it's taking action with them and just doing them. I actually ran my idea by my husband, and he kind of rolled his eyes, and I mentioned it to one other person, and they were like, yeah, but you know what? It's whatever you think, right? It's like, I wanted to do this, and I was hell bent on doing it. And then I do it with 100% action, but I didn't know the big plan, right? Like, I think sometimes we get in our own way and we think we've got to have this big grandiose plan. There was no time to plan this. Mm-hmm. It was like, we know this is a good idea, just run with it. It morphed in all this other stuff. I never thought I'd do an auction. I never thought I'd have space on our square now. I never thought it would turn into a 501c3. I never thought that we would help all the people that we're helping. I never thought any of this would happen. It wasn't our even mission. So it's just like, just do it, come with a little idea and watch how it blossoms. Some of the best things in life happen without it being really planned, right? It's all in God's plan. And I will tell you, God had a hand in every bit of this. And I just went with what he was guiding me to do, to be honest with you. But I was like, I think we all think too much. We make things way too difficult. We just be who you are. If you have a great idea, do it. If you think about something, just do it. You don't have to think about every bit of it, you know, and then just take action and do it well, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to do something, you just do it well. And then be a leader. Don't be the only leader. I love leading leaders. I love hanging out with people that are, you know, want to do great things. And so like attracts like, and I think I just led by example, and I made it very clear to my own real estate team at this time. You know, we had a call early on, and I just said, here guys, here's the deal. I'm your leader. I mean, I showed up, you know, and granted, I was in Naples, Florida, and people can say virtual doesn't work, but I made things happen from Naples, Florida, Clare and Crown Point, Indiana, and I was gone for the first 3 weeks of this launch. I finally arrived like on Easter morning, and I drove straight through. But virtual does work. We can all sell real estate virtually. We don't have to have a real estate office. We all learned that, right? With everything that happened. We can do a lot of things virtually, and you can do a lot of good in this world without having to physically be there. Yeah. And you know, I've had my fair share of my competitors throwing daggers at me like, oh, well, you know, she moved. Oh, you know, she doesn't live here anymore. But I showed up, and I'm in this town, and obviously I'm not going away, right? And it's okay for me to have 3 homes. I have a lake home, I have a Naples home, and I have a Crown Point home, and I don't need to be ashamed of that. Right. It's okay to make a profit, and it's okay to build wealth. And it's okay because guess what? The more I make, the more I can give. That's right. And so, you know, I just think we all need to kind of get over the fact that that sometimes we do make a lot of money, and it's okay. And I will tell you, my passive income is what funded this to be able to do this. And I almost was feeling guilty making some passive income, where others are struggling with paying their bills. I mean, I get money dropped into my account, and I was like, oh, you know, this is kind of feeling a little weird. But then I thought, no, to whom much is given, much is expected. And so I'm going to go do something with that, right? Because God gives to those who are going to do good with it. And so I just decided, here you go. And I had the money to be able to write that initial check to go get that first Costco run. I sent my sons in the moving truck with $1,000, and I said, go get some stuff. Fill the truck, baby. Fill the truck. But you know, that moving truck came to me, first year in Star Power. Yeah. And I didn't have to pay for it. I got it zero based with my sponsors. And then, down the road, I got rid of the sponsors because I had the money to be able to buy it. But and the truck was paid off. The truck was paid off. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I will tell you, I just love where you're at now. I love where you're coming from. I'm very excited about the future. And, you know, I have a warning for the people who are listening and watching is that, you know, here's the thing. She talked about competitors a little bit. You know, how mad would you be if your competitor was the first one to set up a community group on Facebook, and then you got invited later on to that Facebook group that was founded by your biggest competitor or another realtor? Like, you know how that won't happen is you create the Facebook group and you lead it like Jana does, and invite people. Like, you know, it's like the best time to call is right now. The worst time to call is right after your competitor just called your past client and just checked on them to see if they were safe and healthy. That's the worst time to call, right? Well, be the first to call. Be the first in generosity. Be the first in love. Be the first in moral excellence. That would be Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, Jana. Let me add one thing to that, though, because when I was setting this up and trying to figure out the name, I will tell you, one of my marketing people said to me, well, you know, there's already a Crown Point Cares. Right. And they kind of like tried to come from, I mean, they were only trying to help me, but they had more of a negative, like, maybe we shouldn't do this because there's already something there.
That's right.
Well, I wasn't trying to copy Crown Point Cares, right?
Right.
And I said, you know, in the same way, like someone said, what if there is already one in your town? Well, okay, there's also how many realtors in our board.
Yeah.
Stop any of us from doing it and doing it well, right?
Right.
So, I mean, when I got into our board, there were 3,000 agents.
Right.
That didn't stop me. And so I just figure, you know, look at what they're doing, not to copy it.
Yeah.
But see where the holes are. See what is needed in your town, and then just go do that.
The opportunity to help. Where's the gap? Where's the need? Where's the need in your community? And it may not be charity. It may not be whatever, you know, it may not be leadership or whatever, but there's always a need. You know, Nicole Aldaz in Arizona found a huge need in youth baseball. And she filled the need with youth baseball with used baseball equipment and the little league. You know, it just like, yeah, in the entire town, they didn't need a group for this or that. But you know what? The baseball community of that group really needed a central point, and she has really established that central point. So, you know, I agree. It may not be the exact thing, but you can always find a gap or a need.
Idea for people. We are, because we did, if you go on our page, we did a really cool video. We did 2 of them actually. And so now I have a videographer that, you know, we're going to go interview neighbors, neighbors helping neighbors. So we were able to celebrate a lady's birthday that's 107 years old. Which was, I've never met someone 107. She's full of, you know, so this summer, I get the chance to interview her, and I'm going to sit at the kitchen table. I'm going to do it in the privacy of our own home. We all build our businesses at the kitchen table, right? It's a circle. And so we're going to interview her. We're going to ask her questions. And all the neighbors, when we had her celebration, they had lived by her for 45 or 50 years. So I'm like, I want to interview you too. And they loved what we did for her, right? So it's just like going back to our roots. Sitting at that kitchen table is how we built our businesses, and people trusting us and selling their homes with us. So we have a lot of people out there that interview businesses, right? They're like restaurants and all that. I'm not copying that model. I'm going to go just neighbors helping neighbors. So we're going to start, you know, like when we see someone doing something great, not a business, a neighbor, we're going to highlight that person. Now, if they happen to own a business, then of course they'll get a shout out and kudos, right?
Yes.
And that's what I saw during this whole thing. Was I saw go-getters and I saw go-givers. And every single person that helped with this page and this group and this tribe are go-getters and go-givers. And that's who I want to be in business with. That's who I want to be around.
That's because you are a go-getter and a go-giver, and likes attract likes. And Jana, I will tell you that from the entire Generosity Generation community and from me, myself, as the host of the Daily Dose, I just want to thank you so much for implementing, for making it happen, and for being our guest today on the Daily Dose. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I love you. You know that.
I do, and I love you as well.
Michael Maher's birthday is June 11th.
And how do you know that?
Because that's my wedding anniversary.
That's right. That's right. So,
celebrate Michael on June 11th for all he's done for us, because I know he's impacted so many of you during this time. And I mean, even the daily doses that are out there for you to go back and watch. I would encourage you also to grab his bingo sheet from March Madness. It doesn't matter that it's May, start it in June. Maybe you should do another contest for June, Michael.
Yes.
But I just want to thank you for waking me up, always being there for me. But, you know, just lighting another fire. I felt like my candle was kind of burnt out. And now my candle's lit again. And I appreciate you know, waking me up to do that. But, and I know our town does too. The mayor is totally endorsed what we're doing, that the whole city is on board with it. I was on a pastor call with all the pastors, like a Zoom call, and it was the mayor, me, and 10 pastors in our town.
Wow.
And so that was amazing to have a prayer. Like at the end of it, I said, let's pray for all of us because we all need it right now. And it's just, you know, so it opens up so many opportunities for people. But I want to thank you for helping me make that happen.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you. And thank you for implementing. And I think that's the theme of this show is just do it now, do it right now, you know, do it right and do it now, do it right now. And that's the theme of this is just implement, just go, you know, be a go-getter and a go-giver, and good things will happen. Great things might happen. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say how awesome it has been to run the Daily Dose. We have a show tomorrow. It will be me. I'm going to share with you kind of what is the strategy moving forward. What should we be doing now that the all clear is in the horizon and we know that it's coming? What's our strategy? What should we be doing? And honestly, how do we get more referrals than ever before? But also, how do we live this life of success and significance at the same time? The generosity generation is here, people. It is here. It arrived in a big, giant quarantine. And guess what? It's here, and people do not want you to find them, sell them. They want you to hear them and help them. And guess what? They will hear you and help you in reciprocation. So we will see you tomorrow on.
Hi to all my Star Power Star friends. I love you guys.
We love you guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.